one.
Okay, this is the Templeton Conservation Committee, Monday, June 17th, 2024, at 6:30 p.m. And we're at Town Hall, 160 Patriots Road, East Templeton, in the conference room. And the first thing is welcoming two new members, Amanda, Susie on that end, and Joanne Burden on this end. Thank you. I forget.
We are very happy to have a full commission, and I want to make an announcement that both Amanda and Joanne filled out Mullen Rule certifications, so they are both able to vote on the minutes and the NOI continuance for this evening. And welcome. Do you guys have anything to say?
Good evening.
How are you? Oh. Do you?
No.
Nope. Man? Joanne?
Think globally, act locally.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Yep.
Good evening. Are we up on already?
Yep. Next up is the review of meeting minutes from 5/20/24 that you have in front of you.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from 5/20/24.
Second the motion. The
It's a tongue. Any discussion?
Thank you.
Hearing none on a motion to approve the minutes as written. How do you vote? Christoph? Joanne?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
And that passes. George, if you could sign the clean copy and
Okay.
that would be great. Thank you so much. Next on the agenda is a COC request 3040380 for 56 Baptist Common Road for a single family home.
Yep.
With us this evening, we have Lori and Paul Fisher of 56 Baptist Common Road. In front of the commission, we have pictures from the site visit that occurred on June 5th. For any commission members that didn't attend that meeting, you can see the progress that has been done there. And if Lori and Paul, if you would like to add to the commission anything else that has happened since that visit.
Mowed the grass for the first time.
And you got the driveway time.
Yeah, the driveway is finished. The grass has come in quite well, surprisingly, for 3 weeks. And I have started to level the last of the dirt around the edges of the driveway.
I
with
saw
a
that.
hope to have that hydro seeded if it allows. Hopefully sometime next week. Probably won't get it done this week with the heat, but
That'll be.
that's what I'm striving to do.
We have pictures on my phone. I didn't mean to
May have some.
Yeah, we have the pictures from the site visit, but she has pictures of the
From-
completed
yeah.
driveway.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to see, yeah.
If somebody would like to see him.
Okay. It's just the edge he's doing
No, that's
today.
what he did today. Did the whole driveway.
Yes.
Looked good. I walk right by there all the time, so.
This is, it's used back on this.
Right.
Okay.
Anybody got any questions? Anybody? We get an approval for the COC?
So moves.
Seconded.
Any discussion? Hearing none on a motion to approve the COC request. How do you vote, Christoph?
Aye.
Joanne?
Abstain.
George? Dave?
Aye.
Amanda?
Aye.
I'll take that and pass it. Motion
Okay, so
carries.
Once you're set, you can pull those signs off that tree in front of the house, once you put the paperwork in your hand, okay?
Yep, so once
How
you're,
long is that?
so once you're done, completely moving the earth, then you can take out the erosion controls and discard them appropriately. Once you get the COC request from me, I will email you and I will email your son. And once you pick it up, then you can take the sign out. That's it. Right, yeah. Congrats. Oh, you wanna,
What do you want me to do with this?
just if you need the pictures, otherwise you can take one and pass it. This is their NOI submissions. I don't know if you need it. All right, so just waiting for that to come back to me. Thank you. You all sign in weird spots, but. Okay. All right, we have an NOI 304-0391 continuance for 200 Club Road, Templeton Fishing Game Club for maintenance activities and minor repairs to existing structures, selective cutting of invasives and stump grinding to below ground level within the 100-foot buffer zone of a wetland known as Partridgeville Pond. Again, I have to restate that our new members, Amanda and Joanne, have had the Mullen rule satisfied, and thus they are fully capable to vote on this topic. With us this evening, we have Eric Adamson and Bernie Nolan from the Templeton Fishing Game Club to represent the request. Also, I need to state for the record that a site visit occurred on May 14th for half the commission, and then again on June 12th. Since our meeting, DEP did issue a file number 304-0391. And if I may, they issued the following comments for the record. The applicant should provide additional details on the extent of the proposed maintenance activities and the location of these activities to be included for the commission's review, as the property appears to contain multiple resource areas and the location and extent of activities is not clear. Activities proposed within resource areas must be quantified in the NOI and shown to meet the relevant performance standards found in 310 CMR 10.54, 10.55, 10.56, 10.57, and 10.58. The applicant should be aware that there is a potential vernal pool shown on this property. And please clarify and revise the materials accordingly and provide that information to both Mass DEP and the commission. So I think if I can, we would like you to start by addressing those comments.
Very good. First of all, I'd like to thanks for coming by last Wednesday. That was it was great, and that kind of I think will help out as far as addressing what I'll be writing to DEP, addressing these different sections that they did reference. There's nothing like going on a site walk to see the nuts and bolts of what makes things happen. And really it's all about, the Wetlands Protection Act and keeping things clean. So one of I guess the easiest one to address would be the vernal pond. And when you did the site walk, you saw, that the vernal pond is not even something that you can see from anywhere in the places, the pond that we do. We've kept that as natural, and it's really, it's hard to find paths to go out there. I made the comment that, we can go out there if you want to, but we might see a bear or a deer or something like that.
Yeah, we got the deer the last time.
Yeah, it's well, that's part of our charter is.
Yeah.
So we the articles that they mentioned 10.54 is about banks, naturally occurring banks. Now 90 years ago is when we built the dam there, and that's actually what created Partridgeville Pond. That's what we've been we've come up with different systems to keep it natural and that's what we're talking about, is maintaining these systems that we've got in place there. They're the existing systems. The bordering, 10.55 that DEP mentions is the bordering vegetated wetlands. The marshes and swamps, these, once again, during the sidewalk, we kind of demonstrated to you that these marshes and swamps are so far away from the pond, you know, that they're not being touched at all, and they're kept in a natural state. Because that's what's feeding the pond. That's our buffer system to the streams and stuff that come through and to the pond. 10.56 is land under water bodies and waterways. I guess, you know, being the controllers of the dam there, I guess where that would apply mostly for us is we do control the level of the pond there. At once a year, we have a drawdown where people can go in and they can rake their leaves and, you know, rake their beaches out or whatever it is, clean up their areas. And we like to do that. And any work that we're going to do around the natural border of the pond is done to maintain that natural border and, you know, bring anything that may have washed into the pond back to where it was before. And things like that. But there's also, that's where that would apply the most is maintaining that border. And that's the only time we have access to, or we do any work to any of the land under the water body. Let's see, 10.57 is land subject to flooding. That's what a lot of this is all about, and what we do want to maintain is our culverts and our drainage systems, things that do affect the pond that go directly, you know, to the pond during a flooding situation where we have, you know, inches and inches of rain. Interestingly enough, I've been through several huge rainstorms, you know, and the pond pretty much maintains its own level. It is a constant level pond, and we do have a spillway that works very well, and it does keep, you know, the level within 4 inches, even in the biggest, you know, flooding type of situation. And then riverfront areas, we did address that a little bit too. We showed you where the dam, where the river does flow out of the dam. It's more of a stream than a river, but it, you know, that's once again, we are doing some work around there. I wanted to get your opinion on as far as what we were doing with that work. And really getting your opinion on all of this is where this is going to work the best. We want to maintain a close friendship with the Conservation Commission. Make sure that you know what we're doing and you know, and give us advice where we need it. You know, even with this particular NOI is for maintenance of existing conditions, the conditions that you've seen. But you know, as far as going forward, anything new that we might want to do, we'd like to, you know, use your advice as far as how we go forward on things. Jessica takes wonderful notes.
Thanks.
And so going through here, these are some examples of the systems that need maintenance. It's culvert cleanouts. We talked about drainage pipes through Rainbow Drive, where people have, you know, maybe filled in some of the or crushed some of the pipes, doing work on their camps and things like that. Those are things that's the kind of maintenance that we want to be able to go in and you know, dig out where we need to and replace those pipes, get it back to the situation that it was, you know, that it's been in the past 90 years. Fill beach with clean sand. We do have through the recreation department that we do let them use our beach for swimming instructions, and in the past Templeton has gone ahead and actually brought in sand for us and helped us with the beach, once again without changing the actual shoreline. it's nice to have nice, clean, fresh sand there for the kids and stuff when they're playing. Grade roads and fixed drain pipes. We were actually in golf carts and you got to see what the roads were like and these are things that are, you know, part of maintenance. Grading access paths to the pond. Tree removal, keeping the stumps. I showed you where we have done that in the past and where we plan to do that in the future. Vegetation trimming, that's all part of upkeep and keeping the grounds looking nice. And removal of invasives, I showed you where we had a couple of autumn olives there that you know, have been trimmed over the years and cut back to the point where eventually they'll die. I showed you our leaf storage areas where we have some large areas where the campers can drop their leaves off and eventually they're mulched in and become part of the environment. Fill and grade golf path. We have there's a east and west road for the camps. There's Camp Road and then there's Club Road, and they are connected just by a golf cart path. We took a ride on that and we saw how that is how it's made and how we handled the two sometimes streams that flow through there, and all in keeping with the Wetlands Protection Act. And then entry road ramp replacement during the drawdown. I showed you an example of where some of the erosion has taken place by not being, you know, by things like pipes being crushed and water going where not diverted to the buffer zones, you know, being diverted down through the road instead of where it should be. So all in all, this is the purpose of this NOI is for maintenance of all of these systems that have been in place for a while and have been shown to successfully keep the environment clean, and our pond is still testing well, and we want to continue that in the future.
I can add to your pond comment that you have a separate active order of condition for the cleaning of the pond through.
Yeah, so we are tested regularly.
Yep.
We're tested monthly, and then we also have another section of wetlands, section 15, having to do with Title V. But we have tight tanks all around the pond on the Templeton Fish and Game Club side anyway. And we do have an active program in effect that we test the tanks. We have a pump out event once a year where we have a licensed hauler come in and inspect all of the tanks and all the alarms so that we're in compliance with this order of conditions.
Awesome.
Yeah, we was here the first time we were there. Pumping the first time thing.
I have to say, we had a very thorough, enjoyable,
The place is a jewel.
site walk. You know, it definitely, to me, falls under maintenance. Things look really good out there. You guys are doing a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Do we have any comments from the board or the chair? Or questions while we have the applicants with us? Do we feel that he has satisfied Mass DEP comments?
I do.
I don't know, I think they've done a very good job of getting that NOI together and getting it back to us.
Dave, Christoph, any comments? You guys are quiet. Just wanna, I don't wanna rush past you.
No, I agree.
Okay,
Yeah.
just don't wanna rush past you.
Thank you.
Yep, Dave,
No problem.
okay, that's fine.
Well,
I'll make a motion that we issue an order of conditions for the Templeton Fish and Game Club, DP number 3040391.
I'll second that.
Hearing a motion in a second, is there any further discussion? Hearing no discussion on a motion to issue an order of conditions to Templeton Fish and Game Club. How do you vote, Christoph?
I abstain.
Joanne?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Amanda?
If I can, yes, if
Yeah.
not, if I have to
No,
abstain, I
You
will.
have to.
Well, I own property on the other side of the pond.
You have no financial. It's
I
up
just
to-
took
but
the
it-
ethics training today, so,
No financial gain.
right,
You're fine.
then yes.
Yes. Good. Passes at 6:50.
Good luck with everything.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Eric, I'll work with the commission this week to drop the order of condition. Here, can you pass that down?
Sure.
Sign it back.
Yep.
To drop the order of conditions and, I have 25 days to do that, but it shouldn't take me that long. And then I will reach out to you to come pick it up in the office.
Very
Okay,
good.
so no activities until you get this paperwork.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
very
No
good.
activities with them.
Thank
All
you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Again,
guys. And Christoph, you abstain, so you don't have to sign.
I think a lot of stuff
Want
they
your
wanna
pictures
do is
back?
outside of.
I'll take anything back from Templeton Fish and Game Club and I'll put it back in their file, if you have anything down there. The photos and the NOI, yep. Yep. Photos, we got NOI, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Good job.
Close the hearing?
Do you want to make a motion to close the?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none on a motion to close the hearing for Templeton Fish and Game Club. How do you vote, Christoph?
Aye.
How do you vote, Joanne?
Yes.
Yes.
Dave?
Yes.
Amanda?
Yes.
We are closed from that at 6:52. Okay. Next on the agenda is a waiver of rights, 3040125 Holman Street parcels. This was continued from last meeting because I was waiting for town council review. I've passed down the waiver of rights to have you all look at it. I got it from the town administrator. And I didn't know what it meant. None of you were gonna know what it meant, so I put it right in front of town council for legal review. But does one of you have it down there?
Yeah.
You wanna just look at like the first paragraph? It essentially says the Conservation Commission, it wants the Conservation Commissions to waive its rights.
Want me
To
to read
the,
it?
to the Holman Street parcels. Yeah, you could probably, maybe that first paragraph.
Now comes the Conservation Commission of the Town of Templeton, party in interest in the above referenced tax lien case, and states that it is a party entitled to notice in the subject foreclosure case under an order of conditions, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act pursuant to MGL Chapter 131, Section 40, recorded blah, blah, blah. Page 2 at the Worcester District Registry of Deeds. The Conservation Commission of the Town of Templeton hereby waives its right to notice in the above referenced tax lien case and hereby states that it does not intend to redeem the tax titles for the properties located in the town of Templeton, Massachusetts, County of Worcester on parcel 1, Holman Street, shown in assessor's parcel XYZ. Parcel 2, Holman Street, shown as assessor's parcel 60422, parcel 3, Holman Street, now known as 24 Holman Street, shown as assessor's parcel XYZ in the town of Templeton's assessor's record.
So after I read that, I sent it to town council and I said, could you please explain this? It's a waiver of rights requesting that the Templeton Conservation Commission sign off. So this was town council's response. This is not something that a conservation commission would usually see, so it required some thought as to why a court would be asking for this. I believe that the Conservation Commission's order of condition was likely identified as an encumbrance on the property by the court's title examiner, And this is the court staff way of making sure that it's not an issue for the foreclosure. In any event, if this will move the proceeding along, there is no harm in the Conservation Commission agreeing to it. The Conservation Commission has no title interest in the property and has no rights that it could exercise through the tax title process, including the right to notice or to redeem tax titles that this was specifically waiving. So basically, the waiver asks the commission to waive rights that it did not have in the first place, and there is no harm done by signing it. What this waiver does not do is waive the Conservation Commission's right to enforce its original order of conditions. Those will continue to be attached to the property even after its sale. But this raises another question for the commission they may want to look at. The order of conditions is from 1996 and may have either expired without completion or need a certificate of completion. The commission may want to discuss the status of this order of condition, as future owners of the property will likely need to know its permitting status. So summary, there's no harm in signing it, but I did go back and I did say, because Amanda's shaking her head, she knows what I'm going to say. The order of conditions from 1996 has obviously still expired, right? Because we only have 3 years, and we didn't get a certificate of completion for it. I told her that the property in question was contaminated and became the responsibility of Mass DEP. I said, I cannot guarantee you that the local Templeton Conservation Commission would issue a COC on a property that wasn't completed appropriately to an order and override a state permit. So I foresee that order of conditions from 96 remaining open and expired, unless you want to discuss and see differently.
And I gave you all the paperwork that
Yeah.
I got, that regarded it this morning.
Yeah.
Right, so, what concerns me is, waiving our rights. Do we waive that? Is that gonna be waived as well?
No.
This only leaves the right
Nope.
that we would have to take it from like a tax lien.
Yep. Nope, that's what she says. What it does not do is waive your rights for that original order of condition from 96. However, order of conditions only lasts 3 years anyway, and it's thus expired.
Right.
And since then, it got contaminated and the state took the property over, Mass DEP took it over to clean it up.
Now it looks like the EPA,
Yeah.
federal government's getting involved.
Right. So
So it's out of our hands. So-
there's no harm in the Conservation Commission agreeing to sign it because you have no interest in the property's
Right.
tax title proceeding.
And this does not waive the town's rights
No.
to then go after it for tax title. if
It's-
They wanted to.
it's
It's just
ju-
us.
Correct.
Yeah,
We
that's
don't have
not
those
what we
rights
do.
and-
It's just like in any simple closing of a house
Mm.
that they run all of the open permits and then they pull up, oh shoot, we got an open order of conditions from 96 here. And then we get, the lonely resident who comes back and they're like, I gotta sell my house next week. I need a certificate of completion, like really quick.
Right.
They ran all of the papers and this one from 96 came up, but since it's a little bit bigger of a property, it's not just a single family home. There's a document. So I did ask town council, I said, who specifically from the Conservation Commission should sign the paperwork? Is it just the chair or all of the members? And the town council says all of the members could sign it, or you could vote to authorize the chair to sign on the behalf of the commission.
I make a motion that we vote to authorize the chair to sign on behalf of the commission.
Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Any discussion? You okay with that?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
Do we ever put a tax lien on properties for people not following their order of conditions? Could we?
No,
We can-
I don't think it's happened, but I think the history buff in the middle would know. Has that ever happened? There you go.
Well, if that's the case, then why are we receiving this?
Because they're trying to go through the tax taking process and it's open paperwork that came up during the process. Yeah. On a motion to authorize the chair to sign on behalf of the commission, How do you vote, Christoph?
Aye.
Joanne?
Abstain.
George?
Yes.
Dave?
Same.
Amanda?
Yes.
Okay. So George, you don't need to sign it now. I would just recommend you can come to my office tomorrow and my boss is a notary. And so we can do it in front of her. So it's official. Whoever has that paperwork down there, can you pass that down here? Sure. Thank you.
Not watching.
Ah,
Throw it at
I
us.
would-
thank you. All right, agent updates is next. The forester provided more books, so I have one of these.
Oh,
You what?
I have one of these
Oh,
already.
well,
thank you.
the gentleman got it last meeting, so that one's really yours.
Oh, okay, well, I guess I'll keep
I
it.
did.
Pass on to you.
Yeah.
Last time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I have one too.
Thank you.
I'll take another
Jeff
one.
wants one, she can have one in her office.
We got a
I got mine like 5 years ago.
forest cutting plan for South Road. For a Ronald and Gail Winslow of 213 South Road. Again, we have no action on this. This is just informational as this is a state permit. If anybody listening wants a copy of it and is in a butter, you can come to room 3 and request it from me. Next.
Will they be working in the wetland on this, anything? Or in the buffer zone areas?
Look at the mess.
They will be crossing wetlands.
Yeah, there's a cross,
That's what I thought.
but it look. Here, do you want my copy? I color coded.
Oh,
I
oh,
color coded. it.
nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Blanks. Beams, blanks for the crossing.
I think every forest cutting plan is different, so it would probably be in there. Our forester is Chris Capone. So he would be monitoring the site.
No harvesting in wetlands.
Is that what it says?
Yep.
Do
40,
you hear that, Joanne? Amanda says it says no harvesting in wetlands.
40-foot wetland crossing. They're gonna use
40 foot, so it's probably beams.
frozen and dry with mud and corduroy stabilization.
You know, see this?
Want the color copy? I'm just gonna add it to the pile.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am.
I just need the color copy back for this files. That's fine. Yeah, yep. Cool. I have a little bit more, but I'm gonna wait until they review it.
There's no action we're taking on this, right?
No, because it's a state permit,
Yeah.
but they send me all of them to provide you guys as informational.
In case somebody calls and say, what are they doing out?
Yeah,
I see.
Right.
you're on the Conservation Commission, you know, hey, Christoph, do you know that they're cutting down on South Road? You can be like, yep.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
a state
we-
permit, and if you need it, you can contact Jessica in room 3.
If it's in the resource area.
Yep.
We can comment
Yep.
and make recommendations.
Yeah, was it last year? Right,
Yeah.
last year before you joined, they had the 3 of them had a site walk with the state up at, Birch Hill Dam for one of the ones that we received before it got issued a number, because they wanted to understand it. And usually with these, they're very agreeable. If you have any comments, anything like that, you know, you can let me know. I can reach back out to him. But I just always make the announcement that it's a state permit. It's not under or my jurisdiction.
But we definitely can
10 days.
put input
Yeah.
and, you know, make recommendations, or if we see any area that they're not addressing, we can ask them to address them.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. I'll take all those back. Next update is regarding 31 Patriots Road. 31 Patriots Road, is a property, that, for those of you remember, they dug a hole for a foundation before contacting the Conservation Commission or getting a building permit. We went out and determined that it was 110 to 120 feet from the stream that we, at the site walk, determined to be perennial and thus fell under the 200 riverfront area and requested the applicant to file a notice of intent. Since then, the applicant hired Graz Engineering and they filed an RDA. The RDA came in front of the commission and a positive determination was issued back to the applicant saying that they still wanted an NOI. The applicant then went to the state to appeal the commission's positive determination. And in this that I've provided you is Mass DEP stating that after their site visit, they have deemed the stream as intermittent, which is less than what we categorized it out as the site walk, right? So, but they say, based on the review of information provided to Mass DEP, oh, and they gave it a positive as well. Based on the review from the information provided to Mass DEP and the observations made during the site meeting, Mass DEP finds that wetland resource areas are present on the site and the site stream on site is intermittent. In order to adequately permit past and future work on site, Mass DEP recommends that a qualified wetland professional delineate all wetland resource areas and that a notice of intent be submitted to the Conservation Commission and Mass DEP to resolve compliance issues associated with existing work near the stream and permission for future work associated with the addition. Accordingly enclosed, please find a positive superseding determination of applicability. So they agreed with the commission's decision that it was positive, but they deemed it intermittent. I'm providing you this information because at this point, it's really up to the applicant how they choose to proceed. They can say, you know what, this is too much, I don't want this addition, and not proceed. Or they can say, I really do want this addition, and we need to then receive a wetland delineation specialist's report and an NOI for the activity that they want to do there.
Which is what
Which is what
we
we were asking
twice
for all
already.
along. Yeah, you remember that site walk?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it looks like in addition, it mentions that they violated the Wetlands Protection Act because they built a greenhouse on top
On the-
of the
Yeah.
wetland.
Greenhouse and raised garden beds. That was the comment of
All around.
to resolve compliance issues associated with existing work near the stream.
So what do we do if they don't file a NOI? Because they have a violation, so we can.
You have the option to exist an enforcement order, or you can wait for the NOI to resolve the compliance issues within.
When did they get this?
This was issued May 16th, so
A month ago.
I don't know.
a little less, but yes.
Have
Yeah.
they contacted you at all?
The engineer for the project, which is Trevor Fletcher from Graz Engineering, did reach out. And I reiterated the paragraph that I just read. I said, I'm not a wetland delineation specialist, so I'm not gonna go out there and do it. But I would think that the applicant would need to hire that and then submit the NOI. So I informed them that I put it on the agenda for tonight
Mhm.
and would pass along the information to you all. So yes, the engineer did reach out. But I haven't received any information what the applicant plans to do.
Do we
Like,
wanna
I
wait
don't-
till next meeting before making any type of judgment on like an enforcement order or anything?
Yeah, I would say.
Okay,
do it.
Want to
34
give them
days?
some time?
Time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How
Yep.
how we make an enforcement order though, if what the state said is, we don't know where the wetlands are, so we need to get somebody to tell us what is existing and what is not. I feel like in that case, in that sense, she's almost innocent till proven guilty. If she chooses, she wants to go for the NOI and hire someone, and that someone says, hey, you really should move this shed over, then as part of the process, we could help her to do
Right,
that.
that's kind of what it
But-
says, yeah.
Right now, it's kind of vague as to exactly where the
Yeah,
wetlands
very
are,
vague.
so I
Well-
don't know if we necessarily need to do that.
Well, I don't know, the DEP
They did say
has
she
said that they're
violated
in, you know,
Yeah.
they're in violation,
Well,
more or less.
if I can expand on what you're saying, are you kind of saying that, you know, how do we issue an enforcement order if we don't know how close to the wetland she is? She has to, the applicant would have to hire the wetland delineation specialist to determine that.
But we know that there's herbaceous wetland vegetation and surface water, so.
Yeah.
That she's built on already. It's just like how the other guy
Yeah.
built on the wetlands. We know there's a violation.
Yep.
We just don't know what the extent of it is.
Well, who was the last one?
Yeah.
Did you two go to that when the state came? Yeah. Any information on how that went?
Because she had 3 other people with her, and she was training students.
Oh, the state brought,
Yeah.
No, oh.
People they were training, because she's gone into another area.
yeah.
Well, I guess one question, did they stop the work?
Yeah, so, sorry, before you, joined, we had them restabilize it before. So once we showed up to the site visit and there was a foundation hole and no building permit, no conservation application, we had them immediately restabilized. So they filled it back in.
Full of water.
And this was like in, gosh, I don't know, Christoph, what was this, November? It had to be, it was cold,
Yeah.
right?
It was, no, it was one later than that. Yeah.
December?
Might have been.
It's been 6 months.
Okay.
So it's been restabilized, so nothing's really happening now, and the violations that they're talking about, which is raised garden beds and a greenhouse, have been there for a long time.
So
Okay.
is there any way you can contact Worcester and find out how long we can give them, or? do we want-
I can, you can also, you know, discuss amongst yourself. I mean, I kind of agree with Amanda that like, it might be a better process for everybody if it could be all encompassing. Meaning them hire a wetland delineation specialist and then resolve the issues and go for the permit for the addition all in one. I can say that the building department's booming right now. There's a lot of building going on right now, so you know, it's probably the best time to do it. I mean, I would recommend waiting a month.
Okay.
But that's my recommendation. It's up to the
No, I
5 of
think
you,
that-
but I would recommend waiting a month.
Yeah. that's it.
I feel like that the existing structures have been there for so long that,
No, that's what I was gonna say, give them another 30
Yeah.
days, and then if they don't do anything, then we'll do nothing.
Yeah. We can look to see what other Concom have done too over the next month and. You know, if there's a standard for what we're supposed to do. With violations, we can.
But they went to the state,
yep,
Yeah.
so we gave our opinion.
yep,
They didn't like our opinion. They
Yep.
Went to the state, which supersedes our authority.
yep.
Correct.
The state made some comments.
Yep.
And now I don't see how it's our action.
Yeah, they gave it a
Well-
positive superseding determination of applicability. But their recommendations are that in order to do the work on the property, they need to file a notice of intent. And as you know, notice of intent comes to you guys and Mass DEP.
Right, and if they do that, then it comes back before us.
Yes.
But until it comes back before us, I don't see how it has anything
Yeah,
to
there
do
is-
with us.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do to it, till.
They went to the state's not doing anything except saying that if you want to move forward, you
Yeah.
need to come before us.
The state's not issuing them a violation. They would
Right.
want the local commission to do that for them.
So it says Mass DEP
Yeah.
recommends.
Yeah.
That a notice of intent be submitted to us.
Yeah.
To resolve compliance with existing work.
Right.
In addition.
And in addition, right,
So they really need to file that, right, regardless of anything.
Right.
That's how I'm reading it. I could be wrong.
That's what we've wanted all along.
but that's what you guys have requested since
Right.
last year. It was an NOI for the property.
But you're saying, Amanda, that if they decide not to put the addition on,
If they
they
decide
should
not.
still
to
do
file
an
it, then-
NOI.
Yeah, they need to regardless of, because they have done work in the wetlands. So
Well, but couldn't we issue
An
them?
RDA, whatever the.
Well,
we did.
I mean, do we have to issue them an enforcement order? What if we reach out to them and see if they can move it out of the buffer zone? And then if they don't, I mean, we've done stuff like that with another property that works in the buffer zone often. And he cleaned up his property, so we could reach out to this applicant and see if they wanna provide us with a resolution, so we don't have to issue them an enforcement order. Want to give them?
Yeah.
All right, so what do you want me to do? Do you want me to reach out to them first, or do you want me to wait the 30 days and wait for the NOI? What do you want me to do first?
Reach out and
Team?
see what they plan on doing, yeah.
Let's reach out to them and ask them if they're going to file within
Okay.
the next 30 days.
Okay,
We'll
right.
File the NOI or come up with a resolution.
all right, I'll email and ask them for a resolution, and are they gonna file an NOI in the next 30 days?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that? Do you want I don't need an official motion unless you want one. Next 30 days. Got it. Got it.
Sounds like a.
Got it. Sounds like a plan?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, a few more things. So, I didn't have it as an agenda topic, so we have to do it at the next meeting, but we need to reorganize, commission. So if, we need a chair and a vice chair. If anybody is interested in doing that, talks individually amongst yourselves and think about that. George just got Citizen of the Year for his years of service on the Conservation Commission, and we
Yeah.
appreciate your service immensely. So, and George, you still have the CPC seat for another year, so we actually don't have to reappoint that. But I will add that to the agenda for next meeting, so you can think about that. At the last select board meeting, inform you all, Dave, you got reappointed to the select board, to the Conservation Commission till 2027. So I don't know if you knew that, but congrats. So that happened. And then
Must have been your
I know.
3-year.
They just do it for any appointments that are expiring. My last update is, so at the site visit for Partridgeville Pond there, we saw at the beginning where Partridgeville meets Club Road, there's those, what do you call it, Amanda, the raised concrete that like
Stone,
covers like a pipe or like a culvert or like a whatever.
yeah.
And then we saw it
Drainage.
drainage, thank you, sorry, words. Um,
No, it goes under the road, so it's essentially a culvert and a drain, goes under the road and then drains into the stream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Has that big concrete
like
block on
this.
top.
Yeah, oh, that's just a street drain.
Street drain,
Cover.
Sure.
street drain concrete cover.
Piece like that, so
Yeah, yeah.
open up and service.
Yeah. So we saw this and I think you asked me to
Yeah.
reach out to our DPW director, and I asked him, I said, the commission was wondering if you have a process where you spray paint on concrete like below, like no dumping per DPW, because this one pictured below at the end of Club Road in Partridgeville goes underneath the road and pours out into a wetland. I said, a resident seems to have dumped their leaves and cut grass here, causing it to block and back up a little bit. This is not good for the wetlands and probably not good for the DPW director to have to go out and clean them all up.
Well, the thing is, 10 years ago, when I worked in DPW, I cleaned that one.
Did you? Was that- So the DPW director responded back and said, yes, I have a similar stencil just like that, and I will try to find it and get it marked. I'm not sure when, but it will get done. So that was a positive back.
People dump motor oil.
Yeah,
Well, that's the thing.
hopefully it helps. That's the best we can do, right?
Yeah.
That's it for my agent updates. Next up is chair or member comments.
My question I asked you the other day,
Yes, sir.
ruined old house up there, did you ever go up and make a site visit up there?
No.
Or did they didn't go any further with it?
They didn't go any further.
That's all I wanted to know.
Joanne? I'm going to pass out the buy and bond proposal. You got it.
This is the one go down there on Friday Ave.
Joanne, would you mind giving a little background and why we gave this to the commission and what their role in the property is?
Okay, Ty and Bond has come forth with a proposal on what needs to be done, permitting, engineering wise, to remove the decaying dam at the Otter River Pool, which poses a significant liability for the town as it sits right now, and is best, to be cleaned up. It's a significant amount of money.
Hmm.
And Jessica and I are going to be looking into funding sources.
Yes.
Community preservation money can also be used under the open space. For this as well. And I want to thank Amanda for doing the wonderful job on the management plan.
Yeah.
That you did.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was,
Thank you.
that was really good. So what they've done, if you look towards the back, they've done, asked them to do it in phases. So there's 3 phases and what each phase would cost.
Page 13.
Now, this does not include. This is just the engineering and the permit. Okay, this does not include having a contractor out there doing the work. That would be in addition to.
This gets it into,
39,000 just
Yeah.
to draw it.
this gets it to bid ready packaging.
The permitting process is extensive for dam removal, because you're not only dealing with your local, your state, your federal. It really is extensive. And a big part of it.
And the
Okay.
reason that this is being brought to you is because this parcel is under the,
Care and custody of the Conservation Commission.
Solid, yeah.
it's under the care and custody of the Templeton Conservation Commission.
From 1950.
From when this was turned over.
I think it was 1997. It was
Yeah,
donated to us.
right.
Turned over from who? To,
The Stone family turned it over to the town,
There was a town vote and everything.
right.
and the town accepted it, care and custody of the Conservation Commission. So it's under the Conservation Commission's purview.
Is it under
Two.
our liability?
Yes,
Liability wise, it would be the town, because you're part of the town. So if somebody was to get hurt out here, which could very well happen.
Yeah.
Have you gone out here and looked at this?
Yeah.
All right. They could actually sue the town.
Sure, but that
And-
would be the town, not specifically us. That's what I'm
Right,
saying. Is it
correct.
our liability or are we under
Right.
the umbrella of the town?
That's
Right, because the Conservation
Correct.
Commission would be heading this up,
Yeah,
more or less, but you'd be reporting back to the Board of Selectmen.
so would it be cheaper just to put a 10-foot fence around the thing with barbed wire on top of it and let nature take its course, which will eventually knock the dam down and go back to a river? Why should the,
They've been going out there burning tires and everything, and they went around the cables that were there and made another road down the side of it.
yeah, but why not put a fence
Well,
up?
environmentally wise, the best thing to do is to remove the structure. So there's no more impoundment, so the stream flows freely like it should.
Hmm.
Environmentally, it's the best thing to do. This has also been, designated as cold water fishery.
Mhm.
So there may be funding through, different sources, because it does have that designation. And then it would restore this naturally to as close to the way it was before it was impounded with the dam.
But it's been 75 years I mean, how long has it been sitting as an abandoned
so-
thing? How much animal life and aquatic life and everything are living in it as it is?
Well, yes, there is some, but fish passage is going to increase.
Hmm.
Once you remove all the barriers here. So, environmentally, this is really the best way to do it. Some people, there's no funding for repairing or replacing this dam and making this into a swimming area again. Besides, the town cannot support that kind of liability, having to get lifeguards and things like that out there. Somebody drowned. But it would be a great place for passive recreation, fishing, maybe some picnic tables out there, things like that, to make it a nice
But for
area,
$1 million, $1
for,
million.
Well, so hold on, so the,
I mean, it's
so Joanne started this process with the Community Preservation Committee, which provides funding to certain projects in town that meet criteria under the act, and one of that is recreation and open space. So the CPC had asked her to get a quote for how much it would cost to get it ready to bid, ready packaging, and she's done that. She appeared in front of the, she's part of the Community Preservation Committee, and she went to them on Thursday and she presented this to them for their support. And in this process, because it's in care and custody of the Templeton Conservation Commission, she's bringing it to you all so that you all are aware of it and can provide her support. If you can provide her support in attempting to proceed with this document, my next step would be to go to the town administrator and ask him if we can present this to the grant writer administrator in town, Graceland, and see if she can find grants, ecological restoration, mass fish and wildlife, MVP grants that would support this process in phases. And then go to the CPC for, what are those grants called, Joanne? The ones that you pay back?
Oh, it's kind of in kind. Yeah, I know what you mean,
Yeah.
but yeah.
The grants that you have to pay for upfront, but reimbursement grants. Thank you. And then the CPC would hopefully support a reimbursement grant. So if you're, and I can kind of tell that you're a little sticker shocked, and it's not, we're not asking you to pay for it or the commission to pay for it.
Right.
We're asking for the support to proceed in looking for grants.
For funding.
For funding. Hope that helps.
But you're also saying that in some sense, we're responsible for this project
Yes.
if we choose to undertake it.
Either way, you're responsible for it right now.
Yeah.
Yep. Now or later.
Yeah, but right now, nothing's been done there for 75 years or 50 years, other than vandalism.
No, that's not true.
Oh, it is.
That's not true. There was a
Yeah.
thriving.
Yeah.
Recreational area for many
Yeah.
years. I learned. to
Basketball and all
swim,
that.
yeah.
I know,
They-
but how long has it been since it was thriving?
Well,
I'm
what
40.
was the date
It
that
hasn't
you
been
said?
thriving my entire life.
97?
Yeah,
It's
so,
been 50 years since it was thriving.
but I don't think the answer is to just leave
30.
it and fence it off. For one thing,
30.
Okay.
Okay.
care and custody of the Conservation Commission, you have to allow access. You cannot deny access when it's conservation land, for one thing. I don't think the answer is just to leave it a mess like it is. Where environmentally, if we can remove this dam to its natural stream course, because the impoundment will be gone, even though it has gone down significantly, is, I mean, better all the way around.
This is the first time I've ever heard anything about this. You've obviously put a ton of work and research and effort into it.
I have.
But I've only been up there a couple times as knowing that it's part of our town. I didn't know that being on the Conservation Commission, that I was, somehow tied to this.
There are several
yeah.
properties that we are in charge of.
In not necessarily worried about that from a liability, it's the liabilities for the town, but I didn't realize that managing property was something that we were doing.
There are a few, and I have a list of the ones that Templeton has conservation
And I
restrictions
haven't
are.
had any time to think about this. I don't know, maybe everyone else on the board knew all about this and had time to think about it, but.
Okay.
Well, I guess what, at this point, we have this, from Ty and Bond,
Proposal.
and just that the commission supports moving forward with trying to find funding sources.
To pay tie and bond for a design.
Right, to pay Ty and Bond,
$279,000 for a design to demo the dam.
right.
Two hundred thirty-nine,
Right,
What?
to move forward,
239.
239.
right.
So it's to find funding to
Right.
just fund a design.
Mhm,
Yep,
How we would demo.
right,
a
but
tent,
you
a
you
dam.
can't do anything until
You have the
you've gone
design.
through this process. This is the first process you'd have to go through.
So I think that Christoph brings up a very good point, that there are a lot of things the Conservation Commission could be doing, but because there were so few people for so many years, that we only looked at wetland permits. We're in charge of Open Space Committee, which has not met since that one meeting, and we don't actually have a valid open space plan that's been approved by the state, so we can't accept grant money for open space projects, actually. We've got land acquisition we could do if we chose to make that a focus of our board. We could do habitat restoration. There's a whole list. I have like 8 items on the list of things above and beyond wetland permits. So I think we need a much bigger conversation, what we do with our existing lands, what kind of management plans. We can, I don't know, talk to a land trust about ideas, or con bio students from wherever often make management plans for things like this. So I think we need probably to schedule a greater meeting where we get together and we kind of talk about our priorities and what we want to focus on as a conservation commission for the whole town. And if this is one of those things, because it's not the only failing dam in town either.
Right, correct, but
Yeah.
then again, this is town-owned property.
Yep.
So something should be done eventually. And I mean, all we're asking for the commission tonight is just to support our endeavor to find funding to start moving forward with phase 1, because this could take many years to
Joanne,
get done.
when you say, oh, we're asking, we is the Community Preservation Act or we
They-
is you?
Well, I guess I included Jessica
Yeah,
because
it-
she's.
yeah, it was
you know,
spearheaded by Terry Griffiths, who was a select board member.
And the Community Preservation Committee does support it.
So the Board of Selectmen is asking for us.
This was issued to Teresa Griffiths, Selectman of Town of Templeton Board of Selectmen's office.
Because any town-owned land comes under the Board of Selectmen.
Always what it
Why
was.
don't they ever come here and tell us what that's on their mind?
Well, no, I mean, I've been working as an
You know,
environmental
yeah.
person on this particular project for a long time when I was on the Conservation Commission previously. I've been working on it with the Community Preservation Committee to hopefully bring this back to being a nice park type place for people to enjoy, because
There's
they
a ton of
really
work
did,
here, obviously done.
we-
Discounting that.
right, and it's a beautiful place that could be brought back.
Joanne, if we wait, to give everybody a time to digest this for a month, is it gonna have any negative implications?
Well, there is one funding source, you have to have the application in by August.
Don't wait on my account. I'm asking critical question and I'm trying to understand where it's coming from, and those have been answered. It's coming from
That's
the
fair.
Board of Selectmen.
Well, not,
I mean, they didn't do all the work, Joanne.
right,
But
right,
But they're the ones that, I mean, that's the entity, this
There was one.
one person on the
Person.
Board of Selectmen requested
Right.
this. So it doesn't even have support of the rest of the board?
No, it really was kind of a collaborative effort on our part to bring this forward, and come up with a plan to hopefully better that area.
No, I agree with the vision that right now it's an area that is in disrepair and it's a liability. I understand that. I'm just saying, how does it work? You know what I mean? If this had the selectmen's support and then they say to the Community Preservation Act, or Community Preservation Act says to selectmen, hey, do you have our support? But only one of them supports it. Then it comes to us that we say we have support. Then let's say you get the funding, then you go before you have to go before a vote of the people to approve the funding?
If it went through the community preservation.
Yes.
Like that
Yes.
would be,
Go to town
then
Yes.
it would go to town meeting.
Yes.
Right.
Which if you've done all that work and you've got all the ducks in a row, why would people say no? Well, they got no skin in the game. Maybe if it's not costing extra tax dollars, right?
It does not. Community
That would be,
preservation
that would be an
separate.
easy yes.
Yep.
I just, it seems maybe odd that we're not getting like a memorandum from the Board of Selectmen that says, hey,
Well,
this is something we want to do. You guys have your name written in it forever and ever. Amen. Can you
No.
give us a blessing?
Well, we couldn't move forward with anything without giving the Community Preservation Committee, the Board of Selectmen, some idea of the
Right.
cost
They
in the
wanted a number, right,
process
yeah.
that this is going to take.
So you have to go back to the Board of Selectmen after us.
We would have to go back to them for, approval. But
To
I
use
can't see
grant
the Board
writer
of Selectmen
services to
just
find
say
it,
that
yeah.
we get a grant through ecological restoration. We get money to, start this process. I can't see the Board of Selectmen going, oh, no, we don't want that grant money.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, that doesn't make any sense. But we can't move forward until we have it in black and white, what needs to happen.
Do we need to vote on this?
No, you don't have to vote on it. It's just, do you support moving forward,
Yeah, I do. I see no harm in it.
So what I would do, if that's the way that we want to go, tomorrow I would go to the select board office and see if I just need town administrator approval, or if I need select board approval to ask to use the grant writer administrator services to find a grant for it. So that can be a simple approval by the town administrator. If not, then it would probably go on the select board's next agenda as request for grant writer services to find money for.
right? But
Depending on what
we
the
can
process-
say, it came before the commission, who was care and custody of the
Yeah.
property. They support, looking for,
Looking for.
for funding. The Community Preservation Committee also, said, yes, we support looking for funding for this. So we're not asking for any money right now from the town at all.
I
Thank you for explaining it.
I guess it would be if you really don't think the dam should be taken down, and if you need more time to digest that, then just speak up and let us all know.
No, I'm happy to support this much work and effort, and it's work, it's now just, you're just asking for more work and effort.
Right, it
It's
is,
not- It's not
It
like
is.
you're asking for a
Right.
donation, yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right. It is gonna be a lot of work, and it's gonna take a really long time, but funding sources for this they are
Exist,
out there
yeah.
because Massachusetts is a big proponent of removing dams that no longer serve a purpose.
Okay.
Yeah. And causing a barrier, fish and wildlife.
Dave, any questions? No?
So do we just want to say yes or?
I support it, especially because it's time sensitive.
Yeah, it's not a permit, I don't need a motion, but maybe it would be nice for the record if you all just said if you support it or not. If you support, Joanne and I will, like I just said, tomorrow I will see if I just need, town administrator approval, or if it needs to go to the select board for their approval to seek funding, so.
I make a motion that we vote to offer verbal support to all this hard work that the Community Preservation Act and one select member have been working on.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Any further discussion? Hearing none on a motion to support bringing this to the select board to get approval for finding grant funding sources. How do you vote, Crystal?
Aye.
Joanne?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
Dave?
Abstain.
And, yeah.
Yes. I would add that there are some researchers at UMass Amherst, Allison Roy, working on the effects of dam removal.
Okay.
And they might have additional funding.
Also,
If you can find out that information, that'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
message her.
we'll look into that as well.
to piggyback off of that, I want to just one more time point out all the stuff that Amanda said about open space plan, land acquisition, habitat restoration of existing land, all that other stuff that you said. Should I make a agenda topic for that next meeting? And maybe Amanda, you could help me create that agenda topic of the different things,
Let's,
further responsibilities, further than permitting.
we're now a board of 5, we
Yeah.
were a board of 3. Let's give ourselves a few meetings to get to know each other and work together before we add more stuff, my opinion. I'm still learning a ton. I don't know if I'm ready to add a bunch more stuff.
It's fair.
It's up to you guys.
We can start gathering like the list of properties and
Okay.
potential things Concom's can do.
Okay.
And just file it away for
Yeah.
when everybody's ready to
Right, because.
have more information thrown at them.
Right.
But I agree with you because, there are quite a few parcels of land in Templeton that are care and custody of the Conservation Commission. And those are supposed to have annual monitoring.
The one
Like,
right behind Cumbies.
We own River's Edge, which is the little walking
Pocket.
trail that was created in Baldwinsville Center across from the emergency management. That's
Oh,
under our DPW maintains it, but
Not very.
You'll remember when.
Yep. and there's different properties around town that have conservation restrictions that are under the Templeton Conservation Commission that I have to go out and monitor.
Plus technically.
Do you want more information?
Chapter 61 lands too.
No, he's like, I'm good.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Amanda can talk
Maps.
about like chapter land and all that stuff. you know?
I've got the 10 gigabyte open space plan draft from the last time.
Yep.
That's
At the
already-
last select board meeting, the open space committee got reappointed.
There's nobody on it.
It's Harry, John and Dennis,
How?
because they got reappointed. by the
Because
select
Mike
board.
and I also were on it
Yeah.
last time we met.
Okay.
But then nobody ever called a meeting again.
Mm,
So technically we're above them and we should force them to call a meeting or something. I strongly suggest that we
You know what?
Yeah.
get this approved.
Yeah.
You wanna do that, why don't we take those people and have them come to our next meeting or meeting after?
I love that idea.
You want to see if what? I'm not understanding.
People from the open space committee,
If they can come to a Concom meeting
yes,
and
Thank you, George.
open space, come to next meeting.
next week, the meeting after, I don't care which.
Okay,
At least talk to them to see what they're going to do, what they're doing.
or if they need a plan or help or
Because
whatever.
they're involved with town
Oh,
politics.
not only that, there's $8,000 from CPC in their account, right?
There's $8,000 in a CPC account labeled conservation that could be used for an open space plan if that's how we want it to be spent. Right.
And since they
Yep.
reappointed, they should be,
Well, I think that was probably.
That was under
the issue
discussion.
with Getting people to serve on the boards is very
it's
difficult,
been horrible.
so.
And I'm
I
really
mean,
happy
look
to
at-
have all of you.
This commission
this is great.
itself, Yeah, so it's.
Okay, my question.
Doing stuff.
Yes, sir.
Planning board, did they get a chance to do anything with that ball in the road thing? Did they meet on that or?
Try me again, Baldwinville Road thing. What?
381, to go out there and put all that, the sewer stuff in there. Did they ever discuss it at any of their meetings?
No,
They have not.
no, you're talking about 381, which is the Templeton Highway Department, and you're talking about the NOI for the sewer pipe. No.
I was just wondering, because I thought they were going to be discussing it. Okay, that's, because that was one of our things. Just so you know, I did inform our, Mr. Sure, Adam,
The town administrator?
town administrator, that in order to get out there, they still have to have a town meeting agreeing, the whole town agreeing for them to put that out there
For an easement.
for the
Right.
easement.
Right.
I correct, oh, he wasn't gonna put it on the town meeting,
Well, the next one is in November.
November.
yeah, so you will, with what I did today, it will be on that one if the select board doesn't mess it up.
Okay.
Just, you know what I've been doing on the side. Because I said, no, we've had it since last year. You guys have to do your part of it.
Yeah.
And the way it will be set up, it has to be 2/3 of the vote of those there at the town meeting to okay it.
Okay.
Not just 2 or 3 people saying yes, yeah.
Okay,
But, I was
thank you.
doing
Good to know,
some
George.
of that stuff today.
Good to know. Thank you.
I want you to know what I'm doing because I don't want
No, you were
to
fine.
make it be a surprise to anybody.
No, we're fine. Good. Any comments, Christoph?
Just welcome, Joanne.
Thank you. Joanne? Comments? You good? George?
Good.
Dave?
Good.
Amanda? Our next meeting is Monday, July 15th, 2024 at 6:30 PM. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
No, wait a minute. Oh, did you do the chair and vice chair?
No, it's gonna it's since it's
Oh,
not
it's
an
next
agenda.
month?
I'm sorry, yeah, I didn't put it as an agenda topic, so I will make it an
Okay.
agenda topic for the
Yeah.
July meeting.
Okay.
Yep. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.